All right, here we go. Welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev live stream AMA Q&A. We do this twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. And basically it works like office hours, come and go as you please, ask questions, hang out, watch what's going on. If there are no questions, generally as it relates to game dev, characters, Unreal, all that kind of stuff, then basically I'm spending this time working my way through my own game. Why in the heck are we doing all this? Because I get to do this every day professionally at work, and as much fun as that is, there's a lot of cool stuff I don't get to do at work. And I mean, I gotta say, it's working, right? People are chiming in, I'm learning a bunch of stuff from them, we're stumbling through the stuff, and I've learned a lot of stuff stumbling through the, my own personal game project as well, which is really, really cool. So with that, I went back through, I didn't see any questions in any of the previous videos or the chat as of yet. So we're just gonna roll right back into what we were working on last time, which was trying to figure out how to set up kind of our own weapons and abilities and everything like that in our quest to overtake or leverage the Lyra project as kind of the new backbone baseline for our own project. So with that, let's not forget to swap over to using the actual or streaming the actual screen. So we'll go ahead and switch over to that. And where we left off last time was we were trying to duplicate the rifle to use that as a starting point for our own beam cannon. Now, I've worked ahead a little bit with this, and so I just kind of want to recap a bunch of stuff that I've learned and changed along the way. So where to begin? There were a bunch of things within each of these blueprints that were referencing stuff that was left over from the rifle as a result of the duplication, and so those are just some of the normal updates. I went ahead and changed out some of the VFX. One of those classics, like you're not supposed to be working on VFX, but you do it anyways. And I can kind of show you what that looks like now. So if we come over here and we pick up a beam cannon, when we shoot our beam cannon, we actually have lasers. We actually have some really loud sound effects as well. Now, the sound effects, and it does also do damage. Right? And so there's going to be a couple things that we're going to adjust today as a result of this beam cannon. Now, I know visually the beam cannon having bullets is kind of weird, but mentally, from a prototype standpoint, that's fine. I can look at that as a means to understand that that is just the charge or whatever it's going to represent in the future. But one of the things that I wanted to show you that is actually completely mind-blowing to me, if I can find it, is the sound for this thing. So this is the other part that I want us to go into today. And basically, I'm still hugely on the fence about how all of these weapons are set up. I mean, when you look at this, all of these blueprints go together to make up what the weapon. We've got IDs, we've got weapon instances, we've got the actual blueprint, the gameplay abilities. Everything is so split out that the other thing that we're going to be doing today for my own sanity is we are going to map this stuff. All right. So I've kind of started, and as we work through and we figure out where things are, I want to create a Miro board of just what the layout of this weapon is, because I swear there is a lot of redundant stuff in here, or I feel like, I don't know. Anyways, I want to map it to see it, to see if I'm going crazy. And hopefully this will also make it easier for me to understand what the heck is going on. So we're going to be doing that as we go for my own sanity. But what I wanted to show you was something I had no idea what was going on. So the way the sound works is for the gameplay notify weapon pistol fire. This is an example, okay? There's sort of two different ways that the sound works, all right? One of them is in the burst effects areas. There's a burst sounds, okay? So in there, you can place the actual sound that's being played here. In this case, it's pistol fire. Now, the thing that's amazing about this is the number of features that are available just to play a sound. Now, I say amazing, but it's also kind of a curse at least from a prototyping standpoint. Like, this is not, this is bonkers. I didn't even know you could do this with sound, and some of this is, my own lack of, I am not a sound designer, engineer, or anything like that. But let me show you this. If we look at the rifle as an example, the rifle is actually a little bit different, and this is where I first discovered it. It has this MSS weapons rifle fire. When we go and we look at this, I was a little confused when I was looking at the sounds folder. You can see over here we have the sounds folder of weapons. There are, I don't even know how many, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Let's call it 12 times 1, 2, 3, 4, like 48 sounds for the rifle. I was like, what is happening here? So I opened this thing up not knowing what it was. This is a meta sound source. I've never even seen one of these before. I opened this thing up and I just started laughing. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Dude, this is wild. This is basically like Adobe Audition and sound engineering and trigger delays. And we've got like, there's high pass filters and crossfaders and all kinds of just insane stuff in here. I didn't even realize this was part of Unreal. And so I was like, okay, mind blown, yes. And then I was like, okay, well, where's the sound that plays? So here's a great example of where my brain started to go, what? Punch close, right? If we look at this, I guess I can't even find punch close, but somewhere in here, here's the punch, right? The input comes in from the input. There's a fader. Here we go. So there's a punch close input, a punch distant input, and a punch far input. And then based on a lot of stuff, which one gets used. But the thing is, there's 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this is 20 different punch sounds for just the punch far. And what I think is happening, I'm not totally sure. I'm pretty sure what it's doing is it is at runtime picking one of these and randomizing the sounds that go into it. I'm like, this is so much beyond what you would ever need for prototype. And I just started laughing because I was just looking at this going, oh my God, this is just to play the rifle sound. And I gotta admit, some of these, when I listen to them, like in the rifle fire section, I don't actually hear a huge difference. So if I pause our background music and we just play the mech sounds, I mean, those differences are crazy subtle. And to add that kind of subtle detail is, I was floored. I was just floored. We'll just leave it at that. So maybe one day, once I get, because I'm planning on going, not open source with the game, but I'm planning on having people help. And once we have somebody who is like legit sound person, they will be ecstatic to have this kind of flexibility and stuff. But for me, just to play a sound as part of prototyping, this is bonkers, dude. but it was kind of wild to learn that this was even a thing. So, anyways, back to what we were doing. What I've done is to get this to work is, interestingly enough, the sound that I'm playing. I couldn't find a quick way to edit 20 different sounds for near and far and everything like that. So I just tried to find an electronic sound. And so what I'm actually playing for the weapon fire, is the control point capture. Oh no, that's not what I'm playing. I am playing the Lyra portal sound set. And it, you know what? It works. It doesn't sound like a rifle or a shotgun or a pistol, and it works. So, you know, I'm gonna be okay with that. But the other part of it is all of this placement stuff. I didn't even realize, like, the whole thing it's attenuated based on these placements. So I had to add in that it was attached to the right hand, that it needed to snap to target, what the scales were. Interestingly enough, this sounds really loud. I'm wondering if I can cut it in half. Let's just go see if this helps with this volume of the cannon. Nope, that did not help. That is still just crazy loud. So yeah, there's gotta be a better way to dial that down. Anyways, that sound. Now, as part of what we were talking about, so we have our beam cannon, we have a sound. I got the beam cannon in working. Learned a lot of really cool stuff about some of the power of Unreal, especially as it applies to a sound that I didn't even realize was there. And this is gonna be our first candidate for some of our tracking. So let's bring this up. We're going to duplicate this. All right, we have this. This is going to be our game queue notify, and this is going to be the weapon beam cannon. Our weapon. I'm not going to put the type of weapon. I'm just going to use question marks. And this is the fire. Okay, fire. Now, in here, this is where we place audio sounds are purple. So let's duplicate this, and let's just do this as sound or burst audio. Okay, and let's make this purple, proper purple. And we can't even read that text, so can I see it better? No, purple. White. Yeah, burst audio, that's fine. Okay, so this is going to be part of this group. So let's do this. Let's make a box for this. And we'll send it to the back. Hit Control Alt. Send the back page down. Okay, and this thing, let's make this probably transparent with the blue border. Is fine. To match the blueprint, and let's thicken it up. Okay, so I'm just gonna group everything in here that's part of this weapon fire blueprint. So right now we got this. Now, the question is where this gameplay notify gets activated from where, and those are gonna be the connections we're making as we go. But anyways, this is where the sound is. Okay, now, what else is happening in here? Burst particles? There's none in here right now. So our particles are coming from somewhere else right now, but they're there if we want them. Lens effects, decals, all those kinds of things. And this calls fire. Okay, and so this is activated somewhere, and we'll find the connection for it. Okay, so then we have our beam cannon, the beam cannon has a skeletal mesh and a sphere. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Like, first off, like, what am I trying to accomplish right now? You'll notice that when I shoot this beam, the actual beam effects themselves don't go all the way to the target. Gosh, that's so loud. But the tracers do. And so what I want to do is I want to figure out if we can get the beam effects to go all the way to the target as well. That's the subtask we're doing while we map out this whole weapon thing. And so we're using this to kind of as a means for us to kind of do this. So while we're in here, if I open something up and I'm like, okay, that's not where the effects are done, okay, I'm just gonna mark that down. So this is our weapon. So for our weapon, let's duplicate this. And this is gonna be a blueprint. And this is just our weapon. Question mark. For whatever weapon we're using, it is going to have, it has a skeletal mesh in it. It does not have burst audio. And let's make this so that this is readable. Let's try white. Yeah, that's pretty readable. White again. Same thing here. Okay, so this is kind of our weapon. Now, I think this is going to be on the top. So let's just move this up here. We don't need this anymore because we just use that. So we have our skeletal mesh in here. I don't think we need our little sphere anymore. Our little sphere we added just as a means for us to make sure we were spawning the right thing. If we look at the class defaults for our weapon, I'm pretty confident. Oh, actually no, there are effects in here. So this is where we have our okay, we actually do have Niagara systems in here. Okay, so let's log this. Niagara systems are red. Ability sets are red too. That's interesting. So we use bright red for ability sets, and we'll use kind of a more subdued red for Niagara. Okay. So let's duplicate this. This is going to be an, we said this is, okay, we have three. We have eject, flash, and tracers. So this is going to be Niagara system eject. And let's make this so it's readable. And then we're going to duplicate that. This is going to be the flash. This is the muzzle flash. And we also need the tracers, I believe it was. Tracers. Okay. Tracer. Okay, and all of these are also in here, part of our class defaults. And then finally, we also have our static mesh is in here. Now, okay, cool. So that's all that. Now, all right. Oh, actually, no. Our static mesh is not in here. This is the shell eject mesh. This is not just the static mesh. This is the static mesh eject shell. Okay. And then I'm not sure what the impact positions are used for. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. Array of weapon hit locations. Interesting. Muzzle position. All right. I'm not gonna track that yet because we're not really looking for that yet. Okay. So this is where our beam cannon tracer is coming from, right? And this is our actual Niagara system I set up to do our beam cannon. All right. That's all saved and everything. And what we need to do, so our goal now that we found it is we've got our beam set up. This endpoint, no, that's the end tangent. Beam end, right here. Right now we're setting that to just a number. So we need to set this we need to be able to set this to a position in space or give it a size in space based on the distance of the hit that actually happened. So now what we're looking for is we're looking for two things. Where does this Niagara system get spawned? And do we have the information we need from the hit to set the length? I don't even know for sure if we can do that. So let's see where this thing gets spawned. All right, so if we're in our beam cannon. All right, so let's see here. This, we have a weapon ID. Okay. What is this thing? This is a Lyra equipment definition. Okay, so let's go back and just log this real quick since we've got it. So let's duplicate this. This is it's a blueprint and it's a Lyra equipment def. And this is our weapon ID. Okay, and weapon instance beam cannon. What the heck? Okay, so this is gonna have an ability set in it. Those reds are the same. I was like, wow, those look really close. So let's just go back to, so that's the ability set. Actors. Oh, dude, this actually spawns. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is why we're mapping this. This is actually gonna spawn our weapon. We don't have any Niagara systems. Okay, so this is actually going to be above this. Or to the left of this, or maybe we'll go left to right. Let's try. Oops, undo. We'll see how this maps. So this dude connects to this guy. All right, so we're spawning a weapon from that. Okay. Cool. Now, it also has an attach socket in here. Should we track those? Yeah, let's track those too. Just because I'm wondering, there's a lot of different places where these attach sockets get set. Because there's one, for example, for inside this burst. So this is gonna be the attach socket. And what color should we make that? Maybe green. Definitely not blue. Let's try green. Oh, but green with white is not good. So let's use black. So let's do that. And the burst. It's here. Okay. So this is part of the burst. It's actually a subset of burst. Just to keep things straight. Okay. So that's the actor to spawn. It has an ability set. All right, cool. Now, what is this beam? Weapon instance beam cannon. Oh, see, here's another blueprint. What is this thing? So let's map it. We're gonna figure out which one of our spawners. So this is our weapon ID. I'll just take these guys. So this is going to be, what does this inherit from? This is a B weapon instance. Wow. Great examples. Weapon instance question. What is in this thing? Alright, this has some of the weapon config in it. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're just gonna put some general notes in here. This is gonna be I think information we'll keep as green, maybe. Maybe yellow. Let's just duplicate this. We'll make this yellow. Okay, and the information we have in here is this is gonna be like bullets. So this is weapon config, which includes bullets, range, damage fall off. Okay, that's fine. That's enough for that one. The other thing that this has in here is all the animations, which is interesting. So those are kind of more like this color. So these are going to be, this is the equip montage, unequip. Actually, we can just do that online. Equip / let's just do /equip montage. And then we have a melee. And then we have the actual ABPs. Okay, we'll keep that simple. All right, and then we get into the spread stuff. Now the spread stuff was important for the beam cannon, and here's why. Because when we copied the rifle over, if you use the rifle, it basically shoots all over the map, right? They're using, based on whether you're running or standing still, you know, some of the usual stuff that you would use in a shooter game where, you know, your accuracy is better if you're standing still or if it's the first shot and so on. But for the beam cannon, that doesn't make sense to have the beam going all over the place. So I actually set this, a lot of these spread multipliers for aiming and standing still down to 0. That way the beam cannon actually hits the end of the beam and it's not like dancing all over the place. We may introduce that back in just to see what happens for fun, but I'm going to just note that this is where all the spread stuff is. I'm going to keep this simple. Spread. Okay. Now, what's weird is this. Hold on. This is the weapon instance. All right, so this is what I mean by mapping. So the weapon ID beam cannon has an instance type in it. Oh, it doesn't inherit from it. It just has an instance type. Ah, okay, okay. So, okay. Why they do that? Weapon instance type. Let's make this a little bigger. This is exactly why we're mapping this, because trying to wrap my head around where all this stuff lives and why is crazy. Okay, so in here, this is also going to This is all just in a quest to find where our, oops, where our, let's lock this. Where our Niagara effects are playing. That's how much fun we're having. Okay, so this is gonna be weapon instance type. Okay. And this guy plugs right in here. Okay, we're getting there. We're making a map. Starting to, you know, visually, maybe we'll be able to find what we're looking for in the future. Okay, so our weapon instance type, but it doesn't actually do any of the firing yet. Okay. We have the weapon ID. Then we have our gameplay ability. Now, our gameplay ability does the weapon fire. We're gonna skip ahead because I'm not gonna map all this stuff right now. So we have the weapon fire. Weapon fire does target data ready, set value as object, execute gameplay with Q, has authority, applies and executes, create physics fields. I want to know where the Niagara systems get spawned. Failure montage delay, is dead or dying. Start range weapon targeting. Fire delay in seconds. Fire complete. Fire complete does what? It ends the ability. Oh my goodness. This is a Lyra gameplay ability ranged weapon. Gameplay Q impact. Gameplay Q tag firing. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. This is the okay, so part of the gameplay ability weapon fire beam cannon. I don't know why it's auto. This is the gameplay Q notify. Okay, we do need to map this. Gameplay ability, weapon fire, beam cannon auto. So our ability, that's our ability set. Let's do this. Let's oh my god. So the it's in the weapon ID. This is the ability set. And in the ability set, this points to three things. We have our beam cannon auto, our reload, and our auto reload. So that's part of this set. So what we want, I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's make this a little bigger. And then we'll move these down to make room. And then our ability set is going to have three things in it. In this case, we've got GA weapon fire auto. And then we have weapon reload. Reload. And then we have weapon auto reload. All right, and then our GA weapon fire. Has game queue notify in it. Oh my. And the reason that's important is because that's where our, in this case, our long quest down mapping road. Hopefully once we get this all mapped, we'll be able to reference this to figure out where things are, so we're not always on a scavenger hunt. And 2, maybe this will actually start to make sense. That's my hope anyways. Okay, this is gonna be a game queue notify. It's gonna be game queue notify weapon fire, which is in the gameplay ability for the weapon fire for the beam cannon auto. So game queue, yeah, beam cannon fire. Okay, cool. And then this little dude is going to point to this game queue notify, where all of our audio and everything is coming from. Whew. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so then what that means is weapon fire is kicking off the beam cannon fire, which is the game queue notify beam cannon fire. Okay. On burst, it sends the weapon fire, it gets the Lyra weapon, it fires the audio, sounds, early reflections whiz by. Don't see anywhere where it's spawning a Niagara system. So what does send weapon fire do? Gets the pawn, casts the gameplay, some music manager stuff, and then music manager receives the weapon fire. Where is this Niagara system getting spawned? Activate the ability. Start range weapon targeting. Execute gameplay queue with parameters. Okay, so this is where the gameplay queue target data gets hit. Gameplay queue impact. Burst particle. Oh, here we go. So wait a second. This is on burst. We send this stuff. And in here, burst particles is none, which is interesting. But gameplay, oh my god. Game queue notify burst is in code. This is definitely the cannon fire. So far I have not found where this is getting set. So here's the burst in code. On burst. Go to definition. Okay. Where does this live? This lives in... Oh, this is default. Gameplay queue note. Okay, so I doubt that this could possibly understand. I don't think it's here. So if we look at our map, the actual Niagara system is back on the weapon, which is here. This is the Niagara system that is tracer system. You know what? Let's see if we can search for tracer system. Tracer system. No results found. Spawn weapon fire. Where is this? B weapon. B weapon. Does beam cannon inherit from weapon? It does. Okay. So spawn B weapon. Spawn actor. Weapon fire. There's a whole actor for this. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. So this weapon has a skeletal mesh and everything in it. And it spawns a B weapon fire. And a B weapon fire does what? It's an actor. Thank God. The thread has ended. Let's see if we can figure out what this thing does. So fire. That's if we have a shell eject. That's muzzle flash. Tracer. I'm gonna assume that whatever. So B weapon takes a tracer. It gets the muzzle. It gets the Niagara system. It sets the tracer, update the trigger, send trigger, update the systems. Send impact position array to Niagara system. This is it. Interesting. Okay, so we are sending, alright, holy cow. How do I even capture this? Our B weapon. I think maybe we just put it in here as a note. Nope. So what this is doing is inside. Oh no, this is not a note. This is not a note. Okay, what we need is we need another blueprint. Yet another blueprint. This one is gonna be B weapon fire. Don't we already have a fire? And B weapon fire does not have a skeleton mesh, but it does use, all of this stuff. so basically this thing how the heck did that work? Your beam cannon inherits from weapon in the event graph. In what event is this? Fire. Okay, I'm running out of colors. I'm running out of color. Let's duplicate this, and let's call this event fire. And I'm just gonna say that that actually spawns this guy. All right, and we're gonna change these, all of these colors, the Niagara systems, to be more orange, I think. Oops. Because Niagara emitters are orange, that'll work fine. And then that way we don't have so many overlapping reds. Okay. There is no... Does the eject shell get used? Wait, this has a skeletal mesh to it? Oh, that's the weapon. Okay, let's go back to weapon fire. Weapon fire. It does. So that shell eject mesh gets used. Okay, that's fine. Cool. This is where it all gets sent. And then, like I said, we are sending the user impact positions. So, what that means is we need to figure out in the Niagara systems how those are being used. Scratchpad. Input map. Initial position. Map set. Trace length. Transform position. So how's it calculating this length and stuff without the impact positions? There's got to be a way it's doing this. Input map. Particle velocity. Engine emitter simulation positions. Impact. Impact positions. Oh, it doesn't look like there's a way for me to search on this. Interesting. Tracer spawn. Here we go. Input map. Particle position. That's tracer spawn. Tracer update. Oh, we just gotta figure out how these tracers are being used. Initial hit position, here we go. Hit position. It's set to the map. Tracer length. It's setting the tracer length. Okay. I think we can use this. So if we go back to the system overview and we look at the tracer, where is the length being set? So these are the impact positions. Smoke color, scale color, light, tracer update, hit position. Speed. Interesting, the tracer length is not actually being set. Okay, I have a crazy particle state. Okay, hold on a second. Hit position is being set based on the impact positions. Okay, so here's what I want to try. I want to try to take this. This isn't particle spawn. Hit position. Okay, move this up. Spawn beam. Beam emitter setup. Interesting. Update beam. Can we add the endpoint to this? This is our beam. Update beam. I guess that's not. See if we can set our beam in position here. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, whoa. This is a Niagara module. Beam vector, beam start. Beam direction. Beam end. Oh, that's just a default. Okay. So set. And the parameter we want to set is beam. Nope. Endpoint. Nope. Okay, so that's not gonna work. So let's go back to what we were doing. And let's see if we can do beam setup. And our beam end. Set that to our hit position. Hit position. Didn't work. We have what we need, we just don't know enough about Niagara to figure out how to use it. This is our beam emitter setup. I don't think it can be down here. Can we set our beam spawn beam, set, and beam end. Doesn't look like I have access to the endpoint. Let's try something else. In here, when we spawn our when we do our beam emitter setup, Can we make this a dynamic input? We can make this a vector. I think we just want to add a vector. No we don't. That's not what we wanted. Beam end. Okay, let's try this. Let's try to add a user variable. Let's try to add beam end. Doesn't look like it's letting me add. Make new, here we go. We need this to be a vector. Vector 3. Which I guess they just call it vector now. And this is going to be the beam end. Okay. And we're going to set that to this dude here. And by default, oh goodness. I believe we can set this in the system. So apply and save. Oh no, it crashed. Continue. Oh, I was able to save it. Okay. Let's save all real quick. And then back here in our Niagara system. User beam end. Okay, so this is, all right. Our beam end is now an exposed variable for us to use, which is good. But what we need is to set it. So I think what we want is in this scratch pad where we're setting wherever we set those hit impacts. I think we want to set our beam end as well. So where are we setting those? Hit position. Hit position. Can we do this? Nope, doesn't show. What is this map? Oh, I don't know how these maps work. Shoot. Tracer spawn. Direction. Tracer update. Hit position. Beam emitter setup. Hit position. Why is that? Doesn't look like I can access any of my user variables in these. From what I can tell. There must be something. Scratch script parameters. System attributes. Theme. Nope. Emitter attributes. Theme. Nope. Particle attributes. Theme. Nope. Module. I guess what I'm trying to figure out, because I don't know how these maps work. Particle attributes. System overview. User parameter. User parameters. Here's beam end. Let's set this to 400. Our beam looks like what it used to look like. Impact position is a vector array. I want to know where this is getting used. Module position also comes in. Oh wait, it's being passed in? Oh. Okay, wait. I think that's what the answer is. Inside of the weapon fire. Impact positions. This is where it's getting set. Okay. So let's do this. We need to set one more variable here. I think this is gonna work now. Okay. It's interesting that it's an array, but let's just see if this works. No, we're going to set Niagara vector. Not an array. This one. Okay, cool. All right, and the variable name that we are going to set is up. Nope, does not like that. That is definitely not what we're setting. I think we have to call it user.beamEnd. User.beamEnd. All right, and let's take the first one of these. Get. And just try this. Okay, clearly that's not working because it's firing backwards. So what's happening is we're not setting this properly. So either this value, let's put a breakpoint here. Either this value is 0, which is entirely possible. Oh, why are we hitting this now? Oh, because that dude's shooting? Alright. That's unfortunate. Alright, we're gonna have to kill that guy. Enable our breakpoint before he respawns. No, we don't. No, we don't have to do that. Let's take a look at his behavior tree. This is going to be in our plugins. Wars, AI, behavior tree. Let's see here. Enemy behavior tree. Let's just have them wait. How's that dude shooting? Shouldn't be possible. Sequence, wait. Okay, better. Alright, now we can put our breakpoint in. Which was in this weapon fire. We'll put this black in here. Okay, so let's take a look at what these impact positions are. There's one, and it is a, oh, interesting. I wonder where this position is in space. Okay, so hold on a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick draw debug sphere. I want to see if in space, like what kind of vector is this? Is this like a spot in space? Or is this a local thing? Nope, that's exactly what it is. But our beam is not going there. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at our beam. Our beam is getting its end based on beam end. That is correct. At the Niagara system. This should be a world space position. Ah, absolute beam in. Apply. Compile. And save. I know it's been a slow night. I know actually we're overtime. And my end. Oh yeah, dude. But here we are. 15 minutes past due and totally worked. Excellent. Okay. Cool. So now let's go back and do some cleanup. We can kill this. There's a couple assumptions being made here about, how many are in here. I'm also wondering, if rather than using user beam end, we couldn't use user impact positions, but for some reason That doesn't seem to work. User impact positions. That way we don't even have to send that. Let's look at this setup. Oh no, that's the tracer. Beam emitter setup. I wonder if we get rid of this, if that will work. Let's just reset this. Compile and apply. Let's go back to our emitter. And can we put our user positions on this? No, we cannot. There's probably a way, and it's beyond my knowledge of Niagara right now, in this scratch pad to take the impact positions that are coming in and break those out and use one of those for the actual impact point. But we're not going to worry about that for right now because, again, we're in prototype world. We're not doing something that's so bad. We're literally just adding an extra variable. In the future, dude, that's so cool. In the future, we're going to be able to, come on, man, that's cool. In the future, you know, I could see how we're daisy chaining a bunch of these on, and we probably don't want to do that, especially since it's kind of a repeat, but we can totally work with this. So let's see where we got to in our mapping as we were working tonight. I know this was a little bit dry, but like I said, I've been going bonkers trying to figure this out. So eject flash and tracer, small eject shell, that's all there. This is our burst audio. Okay, we're going to find more as we do this because the pieces that we're still missing are like this weapon spawner and the startup ability. Which of these things are they actually linked to? But overall, I'm hoping this map is gonna help our overall insanity. So, actually, with the fact that we actually got a successful, you know, beam cannon endpoint, I'm gonna call that a chance for us to wrap this up. So, couple things that we're going to continue working on Wednesday. We will continue working with the beam a little bit, make a couple changes to the probably the damage that it outputs because it's so constant and so fast, of course. Overall point though is we've created a beam cannon. I think it would be cool to also potentially add a just to challenge ourselves to add the ability for the beam cannon to do a knockback. It's either that or we can create a stun grenade that does a knockback, or we can add a knockback to the current grenade. Point is, I want to add the ability to add a knockback and stun. So those are going to be some other things we're working on. We're going to continue our mapping, and I think those are all good things to work on as we go through, because that kind of gives us a chance to wrap our heads around how all this stuff is set up. So hopefully we can create weapons and abilities faster in the future. Sweet. For all those who were here, thanks for hopping in. For anybody who's watching this after the fact, if you do have questions, feel free to drop those in the comments down below, and we'll try to get to those in the next Q&A AMA. And I hope everybody has an awesome start to their week. Take it easy. Have a good night all.